really biting harder with cold weather and temperatures, getting as low as 10 degrees Celsius in the night is no joke. And we're only left with dressing warmer to keep healthy always. And this is Kenya Delicacy Show. My name is Shiro, and today we are at Flavors and Spice restaurant here in Zwaka. And one thing I can assure you is that despite the cold out there, it's different here. It's warm, guaranteed of good food and good company as well. We have Chef Maina Mungai with us here, and he will definitely be telling us more on the type of food to eat to keep that warm temperature in our bodies. So Chef Maina Mungai, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Shiro. It's a pleasure to be on this show.
Us.
Thank you. Now, you mentioned chili and you mentioned warm. We have chili and I'm warm.
Oh,
so I think that's a good combination altogether.
Chili and you're warm.
And I'm warm.
Oh, wow.
And you mentioned the cold, which I also have, but we'll still go through the show. So,
all right.
Yeah.
And one thing, I can see that the cold is not bothering you at all.
Not too much, because now I'm in the kitchen, it's warm. Yes.
So you don't understand what is going on out there?
Only when I get outside. That's when I understand what's going on.
All right.
Yeah.
Before we get into the main thing, maybe you can tell us a bit about yourself. When did you start your career?
My career started maybe 2004, but that was when I joined school. But I started in 2001. I worked for Kenya Agricultural Research Institute. Then I went to work for a place called The Cellar. 2004, I joined Top Chefs. After that, I went to Nairobi Airport Services, where I did first class, British Airways, Emirates. Then from there is when I had a calling.
I started a calling.
Yeah, now
so
to
we
be
don't only
not
have
just
the spiritual
no, not just to be a cook. Now I wanted to be a chef, and I was not going there, so I moved to a place called Nibs. They made me head chef immediately. After that, I went back to The Cellar, where I became head chef again. Then I was poached by Avenue Hospital to be in charge of the kitchen, and from there I went to Royal Nairobi Golf Club to be the executive chef. And from the golf club is now how I landed my own outfit, because I figured after all that years of experience, let me just do my own thing. And that's why I'm here now, Flavors and Spice.
Oh, wow. You know, that CV was really something.
Yeah.
But you're good, chef.
Thank you.
So, I don't know what you want to make for us today.
Today, I'm going a bit oriental. So we have pork. We have the pork ribs, and we have the cut up pork. So we're going to make a stir-fried pork and honey glazed pork ribs, which will go with sauteed potatoes. And we also have Chinese rice, which will also stir fry. And we'll garnish each plate with at least a bit of salad, because I believe people should always have their roughage and their vegetables. Yeah.
So maybe we can just touch on the ingredients. Guys are watching at home.
Yeah.
And with this kind of weather, most people are running into the kitchen. I think
True.
So.
Yeah, to keep warm, because the metabolism is high.
Yeah.
So I'll start again. Here we have the cut up pork for the stir fry. We have the ribs for the honey glazing.
Yeah.
We have our potatoes for the sauteed potatoes. We have lettuce, cucumber, tomato for the salad to accompany.
Yeah.
Then we have the rice, which we'll also stir fry with some vegetables. Here we have our sweet and sour sauce, which I prepared.
Yeah.
It's just, you have pineapples, onions, and green pepper. Fry them slightly. Add sugar to dissolve, not to melt, just to become liquid. Then throw in tomato sauce and chili sauce. Chili you add according to your preference. If you like it hot, if you like it mild. And for every Chinese dish, we have ginger and garlic is a must.
Yeah.
So that's a mixture of ginger and garlic. For the marination, we have, this is light soy sauce, mustard, and Spanish paprika. That will go to the ribs. The dark soy sauce is for adding flavor and color to the stir-fried rice, to the pork, to the honey glazed pork ribs. Then our pork ribs, we shall finish with honey mustard.
Okay.
So this is a mixture of honey and mustard, which we shall finish the pork ribs with.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. I wouldn't have thought about honey in food. Honestly.
It's there, trust me. It makes food sweeter. But you don't put it in too much, and you let it caramelize a bit, so the sugar also is not too much when someone's eating it. Yeah.
All right. I think we're good to go. My hands are clean.
Your hands are clean?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe the onions, this you just cut up, because for the ribs and the stir-fried, I usually change my own thing, because people usually cut juliennes.
Yeah.
Juliennes is the long strips, but I do cubes, just to give it a different look. So we just put it there. So the most important thing when you're cooking is mise en place, which means put in place. So you just prepare everything before cooking. The mistake people do, they try and cook at the same time when you're preparing, so you end up wasting quite a lot of time.
Yeah, I think it's always wise to, prepare everything
before cutting. Now turn it this way, then cut into small. Yeah.
Before preparing your meal.
Yeah, it makes your work easier because now you just cut everything.
Yeah.
Then from there you just cook. Yeah. So this you can also cut small. That'll go to the rice. So our veggies are cut. So we have for the rice, you just divide a bit like that. Then cut the carrots the same size. Always try and avoid any wastage in the kitchen as much as possible.
Yeah.
So basically Chinese is very, as soon as you have your setup, it's very easy to do.
Yeah.
So I think we are basically almost done. This will go to the rice. Just put it together. Add a bit of green. We're good to go there. So now I'm cutting my potatoes for the saute. I usually cut slanting ones instead of straight to the potato, just to give it a better shape. Always try something different.
Yeah.
I'll just put my potatoes here and leave the fry on standby. So when you're ready, we'll deep fry them. I think we have our vegetables for the stir-fried rice. We have our ingredients for the pork and the stir-fried. Now, the stir-fried pork has more color. So the stir-fried pork will put the yellow peppers, the carrots, the onions, the green peppers, the gourgets, but the honey glazed ribs will just put peppers and onions. It's a much simpler dish.
Okay.
Then
So
the stir-fried
one is a bit more colorful.
one is a bit more colorful. Then the stir-fried rice we'll put in these vegetables and just toss it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead. This is the marination for the ribs. If you mind just pass me a glove there. Your meat always has to be soft,
Yeah.
So your butchery, your supplier is very important in this juncture.
There's one thing I think people confuse
Yeah.
about when you buy meat.
Yes.
Are you supposed to overboil it for it to get softer, or does that even make it harder?
Sometimes I think it makes it harder. If you ask me, sometimes there's meat you can buy and boil it for 5 minutes, it's soft. But if it passes that 5 minutes, like you're saying, it becomes hard.
So I think it all comes down to your supplier.
Yeah. Then just some lemon. Just leave it for, marination usually is good for 10-15 minutes. So that's done. I think now from there we are ready to cook.
Alright.
So our rice will go in that small sufuria. And the trick to rice is, when you're boiling rice, people usually say 1:2 cups. I do 1:1.5 cups. So if it's 2 cups, it's 3.5. If it's 1 cup, I do 1.5. I don't do the 1:2 ratio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like you only add an extra half cup of water.
Yeah, 1, then I add the other half. And the trick to rice is most people think you have to boil the water first, then put in the rice. You can
I thought that
you can let it boil. It doesn't matter. You can
you
let
can
it
put
boil
the rice in
and just
cold
the water, and just cover it and give it your time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We learn something new every day as chefs. It's just like IT. Yeah.
And you have to try out different things in the
Yeah,
kitchen
yeah.
for you to be sure and
Definitely, all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so the rice will go in that sufuria. There's some water there. You can just wash it a bit. So we'll use the same container to measure. Yeah. So I think now we are ready to cook. So I think the first thing that we'll do is leave the potatoes blanching.
Yeah.
Blanching is putting in hot oil first, so that to a point where it's half ready, half done. Then when you're ready to finish, you put back the oil again and finish it. The mistake people do is that they take potatoes and put them in the oil until they get ready. But you see, that way it's a bit unhealthy because it sucks in a lot of oil. Fine, it'll get crunchy, but it's even longer. So it's better you do what you call the blanching process. Put them in the hot oil first till they're half done. Remove them, let the oil get hot again, then put them back. They'll be ready.
So they should.
It's much healthier. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think from there we'll put on the fryer. The potatoes can continue blanching. Then now we can move to the cooking range.
Well, I hope you're getting some nice tips here from chef towards like blanching, you know. So we are now leaving our potatoes to blanch for a bit, and we go for a short break. And when we come back, we will be at the cooking range. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Kenya Delicacy Show, the place to get some cool tips of all times for your cooking, especially in this cold season. And here you're guaranteed to get chefs who are always down to, you know, taking us through their expertise and precision in preparing some delectable dishes. And now we are back, Chef. There are people watching back at home.
Yeah.
Some just joined us. They're wondering what we are cooking. Maybe we can remind them.
Yeah, we can take them through a run through. So once again, I'll mention we are cooking stir-fried Chinese pork. We have the kata pork here.
Yes.
We're gonna cook it with. It's got more color, so it'll have more of the vegetables than the honey glazed pork ribs, which we're also cooking. We have the rice here, which we're going to make it a stir-fried rice with our vegetables. And we have our potatoes that we had blanched before. That will finish with the onion julienne. This ones, those are the juliennes like I said before. And then some coriander on it and some dark soy sauce. So basically what we shall do, we shall serve the stir-fried Chinese pork rice, the stir-fried Chinese pork with the rice.
With the rice.
But the honey glazed pork ribs will go with the potatoes.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow, there's that difference.
There's that difference. And our famous sweet and sour sauce, for those who just joined us, will go with the Chinese pork.
Yeah.
It's, like I mentioned before, pineapples, onions, and green pepper. You just toss them as cubes. Add some sugar, not to melt, but to dissolve. Some tomato sauce and chili sauce according to your degree of hotness. Yeah.
According to your
Perfect
degree
meal
of
for the
hotness.
weather. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
So here we'll just go through the marination again. So I think from there we'll just finish our potatoes. We'll finish, that was blanching that we had done before. Like I said, blanching is putting the potatoes to half cook, and then when you're ready, you just finish.
You've got some really nice tips.
Yeah, you have to. The simpler, the better. You see, it may look like a lot, but at the end when we plate it, you'll just see how simple it is. Yeah, it looks like a lot because it's the mise en place, which I said is to put in place.
Yeah.
Then from there, we have the end product. Yes.
Yeah, you know, guys might check out and you're wanting all these ingredients. You think that you can't afford them.
No. They're very much affordable in the market.
Yeah.
And they're locally available. That's the good thing.
All right.
Yeah. So I think as that is finishing, we'll move to the cooking range.
Yeah. So now we are at the cooking range. Hapa ndio chef ananiambia kitu naita multitasking.
Multitasking sasa. As you can see, the sufrias are all there.
They're
so
all
we light,
set.
but we light 3 first. Let the rice start boiling. Let the pork start sealing. Sealing is putting meat to heat, so that you know most people put just meat, but it's good to seal it first so that the juices stay inside. The same thing, ukichemsha kidogo, you put some oil.
Yeah.
So that the juices stay in. Then you put your water. The juices are not supposed to go out. So we light our rice, we light our pork, and our pork ribs. Yeah.
I'm here to see that.
Do you want to light? Let me do the lighting. So we have them all on. You can pass me the gloves. So what we usually do when we're cooking pork, there's some, you get the pork fat that you've been using before to maintain consistency. So this is pork fat. So you just curdle it a bit. It's natural pork fat, so to maintain flavor.
So must you use pork oil or?
For flavor is good. To maintain taste, it's very advisable.
Okay.
So we let it heat up a bit. Our rice also, you put a bit of corn oil so that it doesn't stick so much.
Yeah.
We stir it a bit so that the oil doesn't fold. So you just let it fry in the oil a bit.
That's a new style I'm experiencing here.
So this is my 1.5 cups of water for the 1 cup of rice. Just a bit of that. Then we stir it again to make sure it's not holding down.
Yeah. So we've now put our rice into boil with some dark soy sauce.
As you can see, the pans are now very hot. If you can pass me a glove, so we can start dealing with the meat. So this is sealing,
Yeah.
The oil has to be pretty hot, Then we put our chop. The oil may seem to be much, but it's not. We'll drain it later when the meat has browned. I like doing that. That's called a flambe. Eh? So we just leave it to brown. Now this is sealing. When it starts browning that way.
I get it now. So about how many minutes do they take?
For complete sealing, proper is about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
2.5 you turn, 2.5 you turn. So like I said, you know pork is fatty.
Yeah.
So you have to keep draining the
oil.
The oil, yeah. You have your little container there. So the next step is a bit fast. Pass me the ginger and garlic. And we put our vegetables. So a bit of onion, yellow pepper, bit of carrot, chili, some gourds, some green pepper.
Wow, that makes it so colorful.
Yeah. So most people put dark soy when they're finishing. Get that sizzling effect. So you see everything now getting the color.
Yeah.
The veggies shouldn't overcook. So basically we're done. We just put the sweet and sour sauce, if you may. And because you want to maintain the vegetables, at this point, you switch off.
Yeah.
Because the pan still has heat. This is ready now. We just put it aside. And now we switch to the ribs. A little toast here and there. This one I've not put any chili.
I think you're already so used to the chili because
Yes.
I had to take a sip of water.
That's okay. Pass me the glove, please. So we have our honey and mustard here. So you just take your finger, mix it up.
That's mustard and honey.
Yeah. So we don't want it to burn. So the pan is already hot. Yeah. So just put it in, switch it off. Now we do the rice. Everything is done quickly. Chinese.
Chinese cuisine.
Yes.
So I don't have to go to China.
No. You find it right here in Kenya.
Right here.
On KUTV. So we let our pan get hot a bit. We'll put some corn oil, the veggies, a bit of ginger garlic, and finish our rice.
Okay.
And remember, we still have the sauté potatoes to complete, but we have everything, so that will be a good process. Let it heat a bit of corn oil. How are you finding the pork?
It looks amazing.
Does it?
You know, I just can't wait to taste
So
it.
what would you have first, the ribs or the Chinese?
Sorry?
What would you have? If you were to choose. Can hold for me that chopping board so I can put the ingredients. So it can have that oriental smell and that oriental taste. Yeah. So there we have our rice.
amazing.
So our potatoes are on. We have our rice here, it's finished.
Yeah.
You can just mix it a bit more. I always leave a bit of white so somebody knows it's pure rice,
Oh yeah.
not just colored rice.
The whole aroma coming from that cooking range.
Just a bit of oil so that the onions get glazed and the potatoes also get that effect. So the Chinese don't use dhania, but I use it. Just to give it that color and that finish, yeah. And we are done.
Wow.
We have our honey glazed jibs, we have our Chinese pork, we have our sauté potatoes, and we have our Chinese rice.
Amazing.
Stir-fried veg rice.
This is what we call authentic meal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just wondering, you know, someone is watching and is wondering, wow, chef did all this.
Yeah.
He's a guy, he multitasks.
Like I told you, once you have everything in place, mise en
Yeah.
place, then you're good to go. So you see now it was just a minute of combining and it didn't even took about maybe 10 minutes. Maximum could take is 15.
Yeah, but I can advise you, if you can't multitask, boss, don't try this at home. Otherwise you're gonna burn everything.
Yeah.
Leo maisha China.
Yeah. All the way, Oriental.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll plate it a bit differently. Put the starch on both sides. It's always good to have your hands clean.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're in a hurry, you can just plate with your hands very quickly without wasting time.
Can't wait to taste this amazing food.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for the step-by-step preparation. I'm sure guys back at home can now prepare it by themselves. And I hope that this has stretched your knowledge of cooking. So tell us, what other specialties do you have in
Basically, we don't specialize in anything. We're a continental restaurant, from African, Indian to Chinese to Japanese, sometimes we do Jamaican. And we don't stick to the menu. We can go out to the menu, you can come and tell us maybe what you feel like, we can see what we do for you. So basically we don't specialize. We kind of like try and cater for everything.
all round?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But if I was to be asked, I would go with Chinese.
You'd go Chinese,
Yeah.
but I want Jamaican. Next time we come.
Then we'll do Jamaican.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's a deal.
It's a deal.
All right.
Yeah.
And someone else would want to follow and you know, talk to you. How can they get you?
Okay. We can be found easily. We are in Ruaka on 3rd floor, room 308. The building is known as R Squared, but people know it mostly as Tuskies. And then we have a Twitter handle, which is Flavors and Spice.
Okay.
We have a Facebook page, Flavors and Spice, or you can check out Chef Maina Mungai. And then we also have an Instagram page, which is Flavors and Spice.
Oh, everything Flavors and Spice. You know,
All
that's
things nice.
all things nice.
Yeah.
All right, I do hope that this has stretched your knowledge back at home of cooking, and I believe that you can now try one or two things by yourself, especially now that it's cold. Spend some more time in the kitchen. But of course, keep the interaction going on our social media. That is Facebook, KUTV Kenya or Delicacies, also on Twitter, KUTV Delicacies. Let's hope to do this again next time. I've been your host, Shiro, and Chef Maina Mungai here.
Pleasure.
See you again next time. Bye.